As we've said in the past, choosing 10 top stories of the year is a subjective task, certainly. Now, we've asked our producers and today's line panel for their opinions and came up with a final list. But we'd also like to know what news, events, and stories were the most important to you and your family. Get in touch with us here on our website, NewMexicoInFocus.org, or you can connect with us on Facebook or Twitter. Let's get started. I have a great group of journalists with us this week. Inez Russell Gomez is here. She's editorial editor for the Santa Fe New Mexican. Mary Huditz is with us, a reporter for the Associated Press. Matt Grubbs, our old friend, is back with us. He's a staff writer for the Santa Fe Reporter. Good to see you, Matt. And Dan Boyd, Capitol Bureau Chief for the Albuquerque Journal. Welcome all. Now, number 10 on our list, is the veto showdown between Governor Martinez and state lawmakers. It started in early April when the governor line item vetoed all funding for higher ed and the legislative branch in the state budget, as you might recall. It was part of a plan to get the legislature to come together to rework budgets and reduce legislative spending in advance of a special session. But it may have started the bad feelings that led eventually to lawsuits over several of the governor's vetoes, Dan Boyd. And as Capitol Bureau Chief for the Journal, what did you observe at that time? It was such a mash back then, but one event did lead to the other. Take us through what actually happened there.
Well, this was during the session. I think the honeymoon between Governor Martinez and the legislature ended years ago, but this year may have marked the divorce permanently. There was a long dispute about whether to use taxes increases to solve our budget deficit. The governor had refused to kind of open the door to that, or largely refused. Towards the end of the session, she vetoed a bunch of bills really rapidly without any explanation. Evidently, some legislators picked up on there is a provision in the Constitution that you do have to explain the explanation for each vetoed bill. This led to then a lawsuit being filed after the session. Judge found that those bills were vetoed illegally and declared them law, and now it's still pending in the Supreme Court, so we haven't seen the end of it yet. But I think the basic takeaway was just the this real things kind of tensions coming to a head between the governor and the legislature.
That's right. Even think back, Mary, a couple of sessions. I mean, we had last-minute budget deals. We had all kinds of things that build up over time in this relationship between the legislature and the governor. And as pick up on what Dan said, there was also a time crunch element involved, where they sort of just let a certain period of time go by before they supplied a sort of non-answer to these vetoes. And it seemed like pretty simple. They got caught, but it really became quite a mess, didn't it? It just didn't really resolve itself the way we thought it was going to.
Yeah, and I mean, if I recall, the Democrats had raised the point that this was about them needing time to, work with the legislation, and that there's a back and forth, ideally. Although that gets really tough with a Democratic legislature and a Republican governor, so that they can amend things and come to an agreement on legislation that may be important to certain lawmakers. What we see here is just like an ice-cold divide between the governor and the legislature, and she's got one more session with them. So we'll see how that goes.
And things carry over, don't they? Exactly right. Let me pick up, Matt, on the lawsuit that Dan mentioned. That was the bit to me that really got this thing going. It was a little bit different for Democrats to come out so hard. It almost was like they were like, wait, we think we have some leverage here. And they just went for the gusto, and here we are. It was interesting.
Sure. And one of the interesting parts of this to me is that it wasn't just Democrats. There were some Republicans, although we don't know which ones because they voted in secret, which is a really worrisome trend that they tend to think that they can do. And no one's really from the Attorney General's office yet to crack the whip on that to any real extent. But to just sort of piggyback on what everyone else has been saying, it really underscores just how fractious the relationship is. And Democrats, have sort of kind of tried to just push back a little bit, but here they really they took the leverage that they had and they pushed at it. But you also saw, I think it was Craig Brandt,
that's right.
Yeah, from the governor's own party, a Republican senator, who's a very conservative guy and who tried to override one of those vetoes.
They did override it in the Senate, and it failed in the House.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, I mean, really, this is the legislature, capital letters, as a body pushing back hard at the governor and saying, okay, enough is enough. The Constitution says we get a message and we get 3 days, so that we can, as Mary said, try to work on this together to the extent that that's possible.
That's right. Interesting. Before that, Inez Russell, good to see you, by the way. Glad you're here with us as well. The idea that the governor, I still to this day don't get where the governor's office was coming from on this. Because on paper it seemed unwinnable Do you know what I mean? It was pretty clear the Democrats had a point here, and we had to wait till August to really, to get some finality on this. That's not really final, as Dan mentioned, because the Supremes have yet to. So again, where does this leave the relationship going into this last session? Does it affect the call? Does it affect, decision making? It's fascinating to think about.
Well, I think every executive is jealous of her power or his power, so any governor would push back if someone is saying you can't do what you just did.
That's right.
And I think their argument would be that no message was a message.
Right.
This was so terrible.
That was their
That was,
position.
that's their position. And going forward, what it means is that people who don't like each other are going to not like each other even more.
Right.
And one would hope that instead of getting your back up, you would say, gee, I should communicate more. Maybe I should talk to them.
Right.
And if everybody in the legislature passed this, some of the bills that were vetoed were bipartisan, perhaps I should talk to people of my own party even and find out why.
Right.
There's no reason why they can't talk more and work together. But a lot of that has to come from the governor's office.
That's a
and
good
it's
point.
not.
Yeah, it's not. As we're saying here, will it?
Yeah.
We don't need, we'll see what happens in January.